Hello and welcome to this video where I'll show you how to build the infrastructure to support Azure VMs in Terraform. So in this video we're going to look at creating a resource group, a security group and the networks that we need. So the first step is we create a file called resourcegroup.tf, and in this file we are defining a resource called Azure RM Resource Group, and we're calling that resource TerraRes. Within that, the actual name we're giving the resource group is prod-rg. That will create our resource group. We will then move on to our security group. So we will have to work our way through this file. So we're creating a resource called Azure RM Network Security Group Test. And you'll see the name is actually going to be Test Security Group 1. Underneath that is the location. So we're actually using a variable here that we're calling from the previous resource group file. So the Azure RM Resource Group.terrares.location, and you'll see it's come up as UK South because it retrieves that value from this resource that we have created. And resource group name, again, if we hover over it, we'll see prod-rg. Again, the variable has picked it up automatically from the resource we created. So once we've created our security group, we then move on to create a security rule, which will allow inbound access. So again, we're calling this Azure RM Network Security Rule, and we're calling it RDP. Within Azure, it will appear as RDP access. We have to set a priority of 200. The direction is inbound, and we're essentially allowing any source port to connect to the destination port for RDP, which is 3389. The network security group name is retrieved from the resource that we've defined at the beginning of this file. So it's Azure Network Security Group.test.name. And that name, if we hover over that, is Test Security Group 1. And you'll see that it's picking it up from there. Once a security group is defined, we need to move on to our networks. So we're going to create a virtual network, and we're going to create a subnet, and then we're going to associate the subnet with the network security group. So here we are defining a resource, which is Azure RM Virtual Network Terranet. Within Azure, the name of the network will be called Production Network. We have the address space defined. And again, we're pulling up the variable for the location, which is UK South, and the resource group name, which is prod-rg. So if we move down, we are now on to creating the subnet. So this subnet is going to be called prod-subnet-1. Again, we're going to use the variables for the resource group name. So you'll see we're using prod-rg. Then we want to associate this with the virtual network name, which is production-network. And you'll see name is production-network. The last step, we have to associate the subnet with a network security group. So this enables us to RDP into this particular subnet on 3389 to access any VMs that would be hosted within this subnet. So we have to retrieve the subnet ID. If we hover over that, you'll see it's not specified at the moment. This will be created at runtime. The network security group ID, again, it's not specified at the moment. This will be retrieved at runtime. So now we have those three files created. We now want to run Terraform Plan. And this will show us exactly what we're going to implement within Azure. So using Terraform Plan, I'm pointing this to a variables file, which I'm using for authentication. It is connected to Azure, and it's drawn up the plan that we will use. So you'll see underneath Azure RM Network Security Group.test, where our resource group name is defined, prod-rg, and you'll see our Azure RM Network Security Rule.rdp, and you'll see the name RDP Access. Where it says computed, these IDs will be set up at runtime. And if we move further down, you shall see the subnet we've implemented, which is 10.0.1.0/24, and the association. And then finally, we see production network defined. So plan to add 6 resources. So to do that, we will run Terraform apply. So we're now ready to run Terraform apply, and this will actually create the resources within Azure. So it's showing us the apply is complete. So let's look in the Azure console and see what has been created. So in the portal, we can see we have our prod-rg resource group. Let's have a look inside that. And you'll see we have our security group defined. So you'll see the rule at the top, which allows RDP access from any source. And you'll see our production network. And then we can drill down into our subnets. And there you'll see the subnet defined as 10.0.1.0/24. Thank you for watching this video.